All right, guys, I know a lot of you guys had questions about the garage, right? How big is my garage with the flooring? And just to give you an idea, the width of this garage is 29 foot. And then when you go to the larger 2-bay garage, because this is a 3-car garage, we're talking about 20 foot. And then the smaller portion of the garage is about 18.5 foot. So that's what we're looking at. The car does fit in the smaller bay, but it gets kind of tight and something that's not ideal right now. I've been storing my excess wheels here along with other stuff that I need to probably put in the attic eventually, but that's a slow progress. But I am stoked to bring you guys in today, and we're probably about maybe 60% done with the garage. There's probably more things for me to do, but I'm totally stoked with how the flooring came out. I'm also very excited. Eventually, we're gonna get the lighting done. The lighting has been an atrocious thing in here. Right now, I have one of these Amazon lights to help with the lighting of the video. And you can probably see from this camera right over here. But let's get to it. The first thing we're gonna do is just definitely wash the wheels. And as I'm taking you guys throughout this process, I'm gonna showcase what I really think about, this flooring, right? And this flooring I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I've mentioned this in the previous videos, and you can hear a lot of that in this video. All right, so most of the time, I would like to use wheel cleaner on these wheels, but with the new brake pads, if you guys haven't seen that video, it's not really necessary, the amount of brake dust that gets caught up onto these wheels, because the brake pads I do have on right now is a ceramic low dust pads from PSI. They're the SPON pads. They do an amazing job. If you guys haven't seen another episode, F8X, F80s, F82, F83s, those pads are available for that chassis now. So that's something that you guys can enjoy, so you don't have to deal with all the dust. But what I normally like to do is just spray it down, not use any wheel cleaner, because with polished lips, if you let wheel cleaner sit there for too long, it will stain it. And the hard part is, and not the hard part, the annoyance of basically repolishing the lip, re-ceramic coating it, it's a pain. But I could almost just pressure wash all the brake dust and it's pretty much done. But I still like to get in there and just agitate it with a brush, and also an easy detail brush. What I will do is I will use some of the wheel cleaner, which is Adams Polishes wheel and tire cleaner, and I will spray the tires to get that clean, because I do want to add another new layer of tire dressing. And I can see now that the ceramic coating is still beading pretty heavily. But as we kind of cleaned this car here, a lot of people are worried about this flooring when it comes to, not being able to wash a car. You could wash the car on top of it. It's not a big deal. I think where it becomes an issue is that if you work on your car in the garage and you're dealing with a lot of like oil spills or any possibility of that, this will get dirty easily and will be a pain to kind of keep clean. But other than that, if you normal driving in and out, doing a little light work, not a lot of like, having issues with spilling oils and stuff, you shouldn't have a problem. I know some shops have this, and yeah, you can see the deterioration of it, because they do get a lot more use out of it, because all the amount of cars that come in, a lot of cars that leak and stuff. But let's continue with it. So most of the time, if you ceramic coat your wheels and you have a low dust pad, you don't really need wheel cleaner. I think it's unnecessary. But my wife's car, she has an X5 and it's a great car. But when you talk about how much brake dust the X5 produces, it's probably just as bad as the G80 when you first get it with the stock pads. But that I use wheel cleaner just to get rid of some of the brake dust off of there, and it's a lot. But yeah, this flooring, it's not cheap, and it's not expensive, I would say. So the amount I paid, so let's talk about the cost of this, right? I think the average cost for like epoxy would be just about the same, if not maybe more, depending on how big the garage is. But what I paid for this, I think it was like $2,600, and that's not including, you know, the tool that I use to cut the edges, which I highly recommend finding like a legitimate tile cutter, because what I used initially, it was not big enough. So I had to basically do a lot of custom cuts, and which is why some of the edges are not the straightest. I think some people have sent me a DM and also asked me what tool did I use? Did I use a circular saw? So originally, I did have a circular saw, and let's just say that it was my first time using it, and I kind of almost cut my fingers off. So at that point, I was like, forget this. I'm gonna return that because I'd rather keep all my fingers. And I just basically bought, you know, that tile cutter. And that tile cutter was from, I believe, Racetech. Racetech is another company that produces very similar flooring, but their squares are smaller, which is why it fits that machine or that little tool better. So again, if you guys have experience with, you know, circular saws and things like that, then that whole fitment of the edges are going to be very easy for you. Again, I think it's worth it. And you can see the soap dripping into the tiles now. The only thing that I used to do when I did have concrete, just bare concrete, is take a concrete squeegee and squeegee the rest of the water out. The only thing now is some water may still settle here. And what I had before was a dehumidifier, number one. And I also had I have the AC, which you can see on the wall. So you can probably see it from this camera that all the water is just basically, actually, let me bring you guys further in. All right, so as you can see, right over here in this direction, we're already washing the wheels. Most garages should be sloped by building code, where in case there's water that water does come in, it has an egress where the water comes out. So as long as your garage has that proper egress, a lot of the water is gonna be channeled out. And as you can see, it's all rolling down the driveway, right? And just to give you an idea, this is a Swisstrax that I dramatically, so this is the one that I almost cut my fingers on. As you can see, it ain't straight. It basically caught a piece of it and just took it. So anyways, going back to what we were talking about, these Swisstrax, the bottom has channels where it allows the water to get pushed out towards the egress of where the driveway is sloped. So you don't have to worry about water standing there. I keep getting sidetracked. So the amount of money it costs to do this flooring is not that bad, because I've had people that told me this flooring, they've had it in their garage 6+ years, if not sometimes more. And then you have people that just recently got it in and they love it. But when you have epoxy floors, which I know it's an old school way to do garage flooring. The epoxy flooring, what happens is over time, in that area where you park your car for a long period of time or just going in and out of the garage, you end up getting that wear and tear. And that wear and tear starts to show where the floor starts flaking. And that flaking becomes, it kind of gets like becomes an eyesore. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to do epoxy flooring. And sure, can you do epoxy flooring under here, but it'd be kind of a waste. You're not going to see it. It's not going to add any more benefit to it. It may help with the water coming out of the garage and may help it get quicker to the driveway. But is it necessary? Probably not. I know epoxy flooring is another popular way of doing garage flooring, but in my personal opinion, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching this probably agree, and maybe some of you guys don't, but I think it's the old school way to do things, and I think it's kind of outdated. All right, so I'm gonna finish the other side off camera, and when we come back here, we're gonna continue washing the car. And also talk about, hey, can you jack the car up on this flooring? Is it durable enough? We'll talk all about that. And then I'll just give you my thoughts about the car. Is the car staying? What else is next for it? I thought about getting rid of it? All those questions will be answered in this video. All right, so I know one of the biggest questions that you guys had too was, are you able to still work on the car, like jack the car up on this floor? Yeah, you're gonna have no problem with it. This floor, I believe, the material wise and the way it's constructed, you could put a lot of force onto this floor and you should have no problem. I've swapped the wheels probably twice already since having this floor, and I've had no problems. I think when you really think about if this is worth it, functionality wise is not gonna add anything more than what you have on bare concrete. What it does add is having that aesthetic look to the garage. And recently, since doing this, it actually makes the garage look bigger. And I guess because it's all uniform and it covers all the imperfections on the floor. I know one of the imperfections is stains. Stains on concrete tend to stay there, right? Unless you actually really get it out. And one of the things I liked about this flooring is that if I were to mess up, you know, a square foot, whether it's hard stains that I can't get out, I can always just take those pieces out, and each square foot is about, or each tile is about $6 to $7, give or take, depending if there's any sales going on. So the replacement cost is pretty cheap, but when you think about the grand scale of doing it all together, then it becomes a little bit pricey. Another benefit about this flooring is that you could take this flooring to your next garage. So if the home that you are in right now is not a forever home, then you could take that to the next garage. Like, you could take this all apart. Obviously the side moldings, you could kind of save depending on how big the new garage is gonna be. And you could just transfer this onto the next one. See, with epoxy, you can't do that. You pretty much, whatever you invested into the flooring stays with the house. And no one's gonna pay you more for the house because you did the garage floor or anything like that. So that's like a lost cause. But if you were to move, you could bring this all with you and move it into the new house. I'm not the first one to think about this flooring. I'm not the last person. And if you guys watched the install video, Obsessed Garage was one of the ones that really made this flooring popular. One thing I wanted to mention too, you know, since building this car for the past 2.5 years and adding all the mods I wanted, you know, there's part of me that thinks, what else can I do to the car where it still interests me? Because everything I put on the car, it's not because I'm influenced by a company. It's not because, you know, a company's paying me to do it. I wish, maybe one day, but I still want to stay true to my build. And sure, some things I do put on the car, I either get sometimes for free or a good discount, or I just pay out of pocket. And when I say that, I want you guys to understand that anything I recommend on the channel, whether it be products, you know, car wash products, or even modifications, I truly believe in the products. I wouldn't recommend it on the channel if I didn't utilize it myself, right? So since having this car, like I've been mentioning, I've actually thought about, since owning this car, I've actually thought about possibly trading this car in. And this is me because, you know, I love Mola Red. It's a great looking color. But if I had to do it again, I would have probably picked a different color. And then if I think of the grand scheme of things, trading this car in with all the modifications and taking the mods out, paying for the mods to be taken off, and then taking time away from my family, I just think about it's not worth it. Sure, I can make more content with taking the mods out or putting the mods back in on the new car. I just don't think it's worth it. You know, since becoming a father, my time is very limited with things I want to do and things I can do. So I have to be wisely of my time. But yeah, this car has been great. You know, there's times where I see new people with new individual colors be put out, and I'm thinking like, damn, that's a nice color, or shit, I would trade my car for that color. But I also think it's not worth it, right? And the way I got this car, you know, I got it during the pandemic, and the deal I got was absolutely insane. So for me to get rid of it, it would be not the smartest thing to do. Okay, now that the car is rinsed off, let's dry it off. All right, so overall the car is washed. Again, the flooring is not too bad. You can see where all the water is making its way to the driveway. What I'm probably gonna do later on is leave the dehumidifier on and just to soak up the rest of the water. It's really not that bad. What you can also do too is take your air blower and blow some of the water towards the direction of the driveway so it accelerates it. So some people that's probably thinking about this, why the hell would you wash the car in the garage? Number one, washing the car in the bright sun is not good because what happens is the product that you use on the car, whether it's on the wheels, whether it's on the car itself, it dries up and it makes it difficult to clean the car properly. Sure, you could do it, but you have to be very time sensitive with that, especially with the wheels, right? If you use wheel cleaner on a polished lip, I guarantee you the soap or the wheel cleaner will stain your polished lips and make you want to repolish them again. When it comes to using deionized water, which is the system I have on the wall right over there, that could help on alleviating water spots, but it's still never 100%. So if you leave it in the sun with soap and stuff, it could leave a water spot, which is why a lot of people choose to wash the car in the garage. Is it ideal? Yes and no, right? I think my solution now, if I'm worried about the water being pooled here and moisture and stuff, what I could do is, like I said, turn on my AC, my mini split in the garage, use the dehumidifier and soak up all the water and I'm good to go. So if you guys are watching this video, you guys probably agree that it is enjoyable to wash your own car. For me, it's relaxing. For me, it's a time to just de-stress. And I like the finished product where the car is shiny, the wheels are not dirty, and the paint is glistening. So that's one of the things I definitely enjoy. I love taking my time to clean the car. If I have enough time, I'm probably gonna clean my wife's car. I've been using it right now to hold the other camera and just to utilize it so I can film as much as possible. But again, this flooring, depending on what your opinion about it is, let me know in the comments. If you guys have any experience with this flooring or if you plan on getting this, let me know. I'm kind of curious, but hopefully this video gives you an idea and also a better understanding of why I put this in the garage and also if it's a product for you. In a future video, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go in depth with it, but we are gonna be changing the lighting in the garage and I can't wait to do. I'm just waiting for the electrician to come to basically get that installed. I'm not trying to get electrocuted and do it myself, so I'm not gonna do it or fall through the attic. But as you can see, there's one bulb out on this one, and there's also another bulb out on that one. So it's a good time for me to get it all swapped out. As you can see, the lighting is here. We have the lighting from Prime Lights, and this is gonna transform basically of how we do things in here in the garage. All right, so hopefully you guys like these types of videos. For me, it's another way for me to get in front of the camera to give you guys content. And it's been a while since we did a wash cast. So let me know if you guys like these types of videos. Hit the thumbs up, it helps this channel grow. And other than that, we're gonna be heading to Orlando in the next few weeks and we're gonna be filming so many more videos there. I'm excited to showcase that for you guys. But other than that, I wanna thank you guys again and I'll see you guys on the next video.